the escalation can take a matter of minutes.
Ever since the horrific events of October 7th, Israel has been engaged in a ground offensive in the Gaza Strip with the stated goal of removing the Hamas terrorist organization. But simultaneously, from the northern border, in the last several months, Hezbollah has fired at Israel over 1,000 times, and Israel has been striking back inside Lebanon on a daily basis. But this has also resulted in the displacement of over 60,000 residents in the northern communities and an ever-growing fear that a true war will break out with the north. To get a better understanding of who Hezbollah is, we traveled to the Alma Research and Education Center, an organization that sits right on the northern border and conducts daily research and threat assessments in the region.
Hezbollah is the most professional and the most experienced and the biggest proxy militia of Iran in the Middle East. It has this arsenal of rockets, around 200,000 different types of projectiles, from drones to missiles to rockets to mortars, whatever. This would mean that Hezbollah has the capability to launch thousands of rockets every day.
By their estimations, Hezbollah could launch anywhere from 1,000 to 8,000 rockets a day. They have about 140,000 short-range rockets. 65,000 could get to Haifa, and others could reach Jerusalem and the southern regions. They also have about 10,000 drones.
It's not a conspiracy. All we have to do is to listen to their own words, what they are saying in Arabic, and cross it with the capabilities. And that way, if you have the words and you have the capabilities, eventually there will be a decision. One decision was made in October 7th. I don't know when the second one will be taken. Maybe during Ramadan. Maybe afterwards. I don't know. But for the people who live here, we are no longer willing to take these chances. And I want to show you something that was published a decade ago.
In the video that the Alma Institute obtained, Hezbollah has laid out an almost identical plan to the October 7th massacre. It starts with a barrage of rockets and then a ground invasion that infiltrates Israeli towns and villages across the border. Even before October 7th, activity on the northern border was ramping up, with Hezbollah scouting patrols and new infrastructure being built.
And they're saying very clearly, we are loyal to you, Hussein, we will do the same thing. And then they call death to America, death to Israel. This is in Lebanon. It's the same as the Houthis of Yemen.
We then traveled to the Reichman Institute in Herzliya to visit the International Institute for Counterterrorism. Here we met with researchers to try to understand the big question of what would war in the north truly look like.
I think that the escalation can take a matter of minutes. I believe that once it will start, we will see thousands of rockets. But not only Hezbollah, not only from Lebanon, also from Syria, also from Iraq, also from the Houthis. This is why we are talking about multi-front war.
Almost everyone we spoke to were in agreement about what this might look like and what the major targets would be.
The leader of Hezbollah, Nasrallah, he presented a map and said, I have rockets that can get to all these places, hospitals, industry, gas rigs, electricity, infrastructures. That's why you see Israel preparing for a few days of dark.
Once you don't have electricity, it's only a matter of hours or days, depends where you don't have water.
80% of the water we consume come from desalination infrastructures.
You don't have water, you don't have sewage.
And this is just the major infrastructure that can be taken out. There are other targets that might pose even larger threats.
In Haifa, there is chemical industry. I can just target these containers of ammonia, and they will create the same effect of a nuclear bomb.
People will stay in the cities, they don't have other choice. We will find the Israeli citizens in shelters, not 5 minutes a day, not 10 minutes a day, not 1 hour a day, but almost all day.
And then there is the ground invasion.
We have the Nukhba, or those units that we try to enter Israel from several places.
And even if there are IDF forces on the border like they are today, to stop them, it still means bitter battles.
They will try to influence the Palestinians, the Israeli Arabs. There is no front in this aspect. Tel Aviv is a front the same like Haifa, like Jerusalem, like Beersheba. And I suppose that within days we will have thousands of casualties.
In total, they estimate the war could be over within 1 week, but the casualties will be in the hundreds of thousands on both sides.
I do believe that the retaliation will be very, very high scale.
Our security strategy was, and thinking and conception of the Israelis, was all about containment. We can live with Hezbollah watching me from the other side of the border, spying on me. We don't want to get into Gaza. We don't want to get into Lebanon. Let's postpone the conflict. Let's postpone the war. We changed. We are no longer willing to sleep next to these monsters because we saw that if you postpone the war, they get stronger.
The American government has suggested multiple diplomatic solutions to move Hezbollah away from northern Israel and to comply with UN Resolution 1701 to keep a military-free zone between Israel and Lebanon. But with the escalation of hostilities, the chances of an agreement are growing dimmer by the day.
I don't see Hezbollah evacuating from South Lebanon. Based on what? Based on their goodwill? It won't happen.
And no one can say for sure if war with the North will break out, but almost every security expert we spoke to said it was not a question of if, it was a question of when.
The situation that was created here in the North is an unbearable situation.
It's impossible that you won't provide your own citizens with the security that you're supposed to provide them. This is the agreement between the citizens and the leaders and the government, isn't it? You must do it.